Alright, this will be the second last video I think I make. It's on Nuke. So yeah, we've covered all the 5 more common maps, and now it's time for Nuke and possibly Train. Nuke's one of those maps where it's a little bit confusing because there's 2 sides to the site. You have the upper site and you have the lower site. So I'm going to run through very quickly. First, I guess the map itself, all the different areas, all the different callouts, and then I'll go through, I guess, some quick strategies as well as some things to be mindful of in each particular area, so we're all aware. And yeah, in this, again, I'm not going to go through the smokes. You can watch the plenty of different YouTube guides for that. But I will go through some of the more uncommon positions, both common and uncommon positions that you really should be playing. So this is all T-spawn, and when you get out of T-spawn, you can go one of 3 ways. You can go either outside, or yard is what it's called if you turn right. You can go up on top of these stairs, on top of the ladder, sorry, and then you can get up and you can get on top of this silo. I'm sure there's better ways to jump up. My movement is terrible. But yeah, you can also go out here to take a look outside from the height, or you can go and turn left and go inside. We'll go through the inner side first, and we'll talk about all the different areas just so you know what the callouts are. So this here is called lobby. This is, I guess, the meeting point where everybody is just before they pop out of sight. You can see how there is an A sign over here. From lobby, you can go into A in 2 different ways. This way is called hut. You're in a little hut over here, and this is also what we call A main. This is the main way for you to get out of A. In Europe, they call that A main, but I don't think it's a good call. So here, this is A. Go through huts. You can say on a couple of people huts. The other area to go through A is through here. This is called squeaky. The reason why it's called squeaky is because open the door makes a squeaking noise. So generally what people do is they throw an A, they bounce it off, and it blows up the squeaky door. Alternatively, you can shoot a hole through the squeaky door. So you can shoot a hole through here, you can take a look at a spy over here, but generally not a good idea to really hold this angle, just because CTs will be holding it from outside, either with the rifle or either with an AWP. So if you're just dry peeking into here, you're really not going to win the fight unless you smoke off. Anyway, let's go into actual A site. So a lot of times you can call this A, but a lot of people just also call it upper because it's the upper bomb site. B site, which is downstairs, is the lower bomb site. So this is A, this is outer, oh, this is upper, sorry, my bad. When you come out of hut, there's so many different angles for you to look at, and this is, I guess, like the beauty and the curse of Nuke, right? You are looking a lot more up than you are sideways. The actual site A itself is just a rectangle, right? But you're not really clearing any corners per se. Like there's no corner over here, not really corners over here. When you're taking a fight, you're probably going to look up a lot more. So first fight, probably going to come out, you're probably going to take this fight or over here. So either someone will peek you here or someone will be playing on top of heaven over here. It's actually a really nasty angle. You might want to actually jiggle it just because they can spot you so easily from here. And if you run out here expecting a lower fight, you're just going to get peppered. And you can only see their head. They can see your entire body. So probably going to pepper you before you can actually react and click up. So probably jiggle out here, see if you can get the information. If you're not very quick at it, you can always just jiggle up, look up here to see if there's like a black shadow over CT. If not, then you can widen out a little bit and see if there's a black shadow over here before you clear out the rest. CTs can play anywhere on top of this route, like literally anywhere. There's even some really gnarly angles, like on top over here, like over here. It's just so hard to clear those. You might actually just have to molly on top of hut to get them off that angle. But yeah, if you're coming out, your life is actually just really difficult. You have to clear so many different high angles, not just like corners, but high angles. Once you come out, you know, there could be a CT over here, they could be playing D, they could be playing heaven on that angle. So there's so many angles for you to clear. Anyway, when you're actually planting the bomb, you can plant it behind this yellow sign over here. This is if you're planting it because you know that they're on heaven. Alternatively, if Mini is not safe, you can plant it for heaven over here. A couple of other plants, like in general, anywhere between this red box is fine. Just be aware of where you're planting. This box over here is a shady angle. If you tuck in like this, actually they should be able to spot a pixel of your head. If you're playing back a little bit, you'll be able to see them, but they'll also be able to see you. It's like a true headshot angle, but you're probably going to get naded or mollied. So unless you're like Freakazoid and have turret aim, probably not good to play here. You might want to play like a more of an off angle. Anyway, up there is called Heaven. You're coming up from there, so yeah, Heaven. Over here, this box is wildly underrated, or this set of boxes. This is what we call Tetris, kind of like the Mirage Tetris. You can go up. You can get on top of Hut over here, and this is the beauty of Nuke on upper. There's so many different angles for you to hide that are high. If you're playing on as a CT, right, you don't need to be fighting on the low angles. If you're given these low angles, you're actually kind of limiting yourself, because yeah, like after you take the fight over here, you're stuck. You're always stuck behind these two silos, right? Like no matter where you peak, you're going to be low. But if you're taking a fight from high, for example, right, you can take a fight off Squeaky, get a kill, and then you can reposition to the other side of Hut, or you can drop down and create more of an angle for yourself. You can even play here, you can play a bit more of an off angle, you can play behind these boxes if you will, you can hide behind Tetris if you know that players are coming out of mini. So these are some really good angles that make use of Tetris, and I don't think that players are using them enough. Anyway, if you come out of Squeaky, the first thing that you'll see here is a vent. This is, yeah, we'll call this vent. You can actually break this vent. You can, like a nade can explode it, you can throw something to it, but especially on Eco, what he's like to do, they like to smoke over here and they just like run down, right, and then yeah, they're all the way low. So yeah, vent dropping is a proper strategy. But if you come out over here, this is the second vent. You can just call this gay corner, I guess, because it's an angle that a lot of people hide in. It's actually an angle that you need to be very acutely aware of, just because there's so many bait and switch possibilities. You can just have someone hiding here, and you can have someone taking contact off Squeaky, just over here like this, and then, you know, they're thinking, oh, you know, there's someone holding Squeaky or jiggling Squeaky, he's backed off, so Squeaky's probably clear. But yeah, if you have someone over here hiding in the corner, just lying in wait, it's such a gnarly angle. So really good if you just molly it when you're taking the site. It'll be great. You can actually just clear out that angle without having to fight it. Obviously, you should probably smoke mini. This area is called mini. I can't remember what other people call it. Storage? I don't know. I'm not sure what it's called. But yeah, I call this mini. And the reason is literally because it says mini over here. Yeah, there's another call out for it. But yeah, I'm calling it mini. Mini is a great place for CTs to play. It's very flexible. You can hold Squeaky. You can hold outside. You can play a bit more passive onto site. You can let them out of Hut and you can get them on across. Yeah, it's a powerful position that allows quite a bit of rotate. So there's almost always going to be a CT holding mini. If you're an anchor player on A, my suggestion is probably play up, probably play high. The setup is usually one high, one low. So you can play here. I can't make this jump, but you can actually play on the silos themselves, or you can play on Heaven. And I'll show you guys that angle a bit later. But yeah, over on A, just Tetris, vent, second vent, the corner gay spot, check on top of Hut. It's going to be hard, but you just need to like anticipate. If you're coming out of Squeaky, yeah, you're probably going to clear this angle. Probably going to just be close, maybe. Be close this way to make sure no one is hiding at this angle. Maybe you have to clear a little bit deeper if they're playing somewhere next to the vent. So clear, make sure you get the clear over there. If this is smoked, that's when the next thing is just figure out, make sure no one's hiding on top over here, make sure no one's hiding on top over here, and then yeah, you can start to clear out afters. This is a very good angle to hold Heaven, by the way. You're not seen from Heaven here, and over here you're like only headshot angle, whereas you can kind of see them. Yeah, just be ready to take that fight. And yeah, once you take sight from Squeaky, generally you want to clear a spot and clear behind Tetris, and you probably want to clear up the other high angle. Just another point to know on T side, if you're coming out and you're dying from the upper position over here, that's fine. Like you're the entry, right? If you clear out these angles and you die from upper, yeah, sure, you die, right? Like the second person needs to trade you, so you, like no one is entering over here and they just go oh and straight looking 180 degrees straight up high, right? So either get your teammate to molly it. There's a molly from spawn where you can throw that can molly the Hut, or like you, I guess it's just like after you cleared all the angles, that's when you can like take a look. Anyway, that's a site quickly. if we go outside now towards yard, this is the fun part. So if you go into yard from T-Sport, let's go back. There's a couple of areas without callouts, I guess. If you go up this ladder, right, two ways you can go. You can actually go up these steps and go down here, and you'll end up in lobby. There is a nice hole over here where you can actually see aim and push. Also, it's just a really good position because if you're in lobby and the CTs are on an eco, they can lobby crunch, they can push squeaky, they can push main, they can push trophy and radio, right? You're going to get pinched, and if you're holding here, let's say you're like, oh, I can hear them coming out trophy, you're holding this line to make sure that they're not pushing. Well, actually, you're going to die from, right? You're going to die from hut. Or maybe they push out squeak, you're going to die from squeak, right? If you push it, if you're holding hut, right? Yeah, sure. You might be able to hold this angle over here. Again, you're exposed over here. If the trophy player is dead, you're going to have to swivel 90 degrees. And this is just not a smart fight, right? You always want to be taking an unfair fight. So if you're able to see them before they're able to see you, right? That's a good fight. So realistically speaking, if you're doing this, you're like letting them fight you. If you're playing this close with your crosshair over here, the moment they wide swing you 5-7 straight bullet to your head, you're dead, right? If you're playing a more high angle, right? Like let's say over here as an example, sure, you're letting them out of lobby, but you can hear it. You can also kind of hear them popping out a squeak, but you're only exposed to the trophy angle. So this is a pretty decent angle to play. I'd also say this is an okay angle to play just because you can see them coming out first, and they're not visible from trophy. So this way, you can actually get a teammate to play back over here and hold squeak while you are holding on top, right? And of course, obviously, if they push trophy, then they push trophy. So yeah. Anyway, that's what's pretty underrated. If we keep going here, outside, if you go this way, you can go onto silo. This is called silo. This is called marshmallow. Marshmallow is an older core. Silo is, I guess, the newer core. But over here, you have a very nice bird's eye view of the entire outside. You can see everything, and it's a very nice angle because, you know, height advantage, right? Obi-Wan, you know what it says. So if you have someone peeking from low and you have someone peeking from high, you can actually see a lot more spots. Like, yeah, if you're peeking low, generally an AWP is probably going to be holding you. But if you're peeking high, right, the only places you're actually going to be killed from are secret, which is over here, or back of garage or credit card, which is this area over here. So no one's actually going to be holding an AWP and just holding you from side over here. That's crazy. They're either going to be killed from back of garage or from credit card, one of those two places. So realistically, all you need to do is just play headshot angle, make sure, and just expect to fight. Like if you see them, you know, and they're AWPing and you get shot on, whereas you have an AK, just count your lucky days. You're probably not going to repeat that. Honestly, get someone also to flash so you can get out of here safely. But yeah, just expect here, and secret. Once you've cleared those three spots, you can actually take a look at the rest of outside, right? In outside, again, just like the inside of Nuke, there's so many random corners. Like it's pretty open map, but yeah, you're really just checking like weird stuff. For example, over here, I don't know what this is called. I think, yeah, I don't know. This is a spot just under marshmallow, you could say, under silo, under marshmallow. The CTs, if it's smoked off, they could actually just creep up over here. And this is a very big blind spot. It's not very utilized at all. Ts are generally jumping from the silo over to on top of mini. So this place is usually left uncleared. They can also see your guns stick out if you're holding this angle. So if you're like, oh, I wonder what I can see, and I kind of want to peek garage and I want to peek credit card at the same time, yeah, your gun sticks out. So they'll be able to see, and they'll probably be able to catch you off guard. If you're a CT, you can probably choose to play like a higher angle. This way it's like completely unexpected. You don't really want to be playing a wider angle just because you don't have anywhere to strafe into. You're more likely to just play like a tighter angle, maybe trigger discipline, maybe even play here. Just let them pass. Like you hold like a sliver towards red, you can call out that they're pushing T red, and that way, like even though you're not getting the first kill, you're giving a lot of info. Yeah, Nuke's a lot about information because the map is so big, and yeah, you have 5 people spread out across inner, outer, and outside. So yeah, upper, lower, and outside. So yeah, information's always good. This box is called T-Red. It's a red box, and it's on the terrorist side, so that's why I call it T-Red. You can hide behind T-Red again on these like Tetris looking like things. You can get up. This is a pretty good vantage point for both the CTs and the Ts. The reason is because actually, if you're taking outside, a lot of this stuff is like smoked. Let me enter into crack so we can actually do this. Give me a sec. Yeah, okay, so I'm not gonna work outside from those smokes. I actually forgot them all, but if you're taking outside, right, sometimes the CTs might smoke here, just so they can push up a little bit. It blocks the vision, or the Ts one. Yeah, it blocks the vision from an AWPer, and the CTs can creep up to over here, just hide behind here. Or maybe if they're feeling really brave, they can even push up the smoke. If you're not paying attention, they can push up and get up close over here. But a lot of the time, you're expecting like a garage smoke, you're expecting a set of cross smokes over here, because one smoke's not enough, so you generally have like another smoke over here. So you have 3 smokes, and that actually lets you cross secret as a terrorist pretty safely. You might want to be either crouch or like creep through over here, because they can kind of see from heaven. There's a terrible smoke, but if we like smoke it properly over here, right, like they won't be able to spot your cross into secret. So if these are the smokes that they're throwing, and you kind of want to have a little bit of vision, you just want to get a bit of info, you can actually pick on top of the smoke. Right, this is like on T-Red, you can take a look at CT, you can take a look at garage from an elevated position, you can take a look at the stairs, you can maybe take a look at the back of credit card or credit card over here. So on top is a pretty decent angle, but again, like if you're not confident on a fight, please don't take this. Please don't take this angle. Over here, you get into garage. So you have normal garage, which is over here, where, you know, if you're having an AWP as an example, right, you're probably holding this angle or this angle, and maybe even the T-red angle if it's not smoked. Alternatively, if you are smoked off, which is very, very common, you're going to be playing on the back of garage, probably looking over here towards silo. You can maybe wide swing a little bit off silo. Here is a decent spot. This is called credit card. I don't know why it's called credit card. I don't think it's called blue box, but yeah, it's called credit card. So over here, you should be able to see this angle. You can see them cross as well. You can also kind of see silo too. It's pretty nasty angle, but you are pretty exposed, so it's pretty telegraphed. If you are AWPing outside, or if there's an AWP outside, you smoke off you can kind of expect credit cards to be held. A lot of times, people don't actually hold this gap. They actually like to hold back a little bit more just to be able to hold silo. Yeah, I guess you can get wrapped, but this is, I guess, a safer angle, because if you miss, you can always duck into credit card, whereas over here, once it's shot, you know, you kind of have to like back. So, up to you where you want to play. Alternatively, if you've completely given it up, or if you want to save, this is an underrated save spot. No one really is over here. You can also play a little bit deeper over here. Just be aware that you're probably going to give up a little bit of information. So I wouldn't advise you to hide all the way here. Probably take a pixel gap or something, just so you know if people are crossing. Right, you can hold something wider, or you can even hold squeaky from here. Yeah, garage is pretty flexible, but yeah, if you need to escape, probably need to run back this way. There's a little box over here. I don't know what this box is called. Just a box. You can say next to credit card. Here in this room, it's called locker room. There's 2 windows over here, and locker room's a pretty strong position because you're covered from everywhere. You can watch them cross from T-red down to secret. You can hold this angle over here. You can hold this angle over here, or this angle over here, especially if this is smoked. You can occasionally spot someone jumping down from mini into, jumping down on top of mini into mini itself. If they're not jumping well, then they jump over. You can probably take a shot over here. Do be aware, however, that you can get wrapped from garage if you're playing locker room. If we get out of locker, this is CT red. This is a red box over here. So yeah, if you take a look at CT red, you're very far away. So if you're holding an AWP, or if you're holding like an AUG or something, this is a decent angle to hold. You can also, you know, play a little bit back over here just so you can spot garage, or be hidden from garage rather. And if you're really, really scared of mini, you can give up secret completely and just hold here. Again, you can spot a jump, or you can spot the cross into mini, and you can also spot them wrapping if you play with it. So it's an angle that's really far away, but it can give you some information. As a CT as well, this is such a powerful you're completely hidden. Like, you're behind these stairs, you're behind these poles, right? You're so far away. You have a decent angle. If you're holding a dak, this angle is actually just diabolical if they don't smoke it, and they're just trying to run across you. Boom, 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 right? But this is almost always a free kill if it's not smoked and they're just dry peeking you. So use these stairs to your advantage. I'm not sure if there's any other. Like, I don't know, you could probably hold like a taller angle. I'm not sure. I haven't used these railings, but like, or we can use them to some advantage. But yeah, this one's a pretty nasty one. So just be aware of this angle, both on Ts and on CTs. This is CT spawn. It's a favorite place for people to save. It's just really far away. General save spots, you can hide behind the forklift over here, or you can actually just play all the way back here. You have to run really, really deep to actually clear these spots. So it's a decent save area. Anyway, outside of CT, if I go to heaven first, you can go to heaven outside this way by climbing onto these canisters and then onto this vent. This is called aircon because this is the air conditioning unit. Aircon's actually also a pretty decent place to play just because no one expects it. People are expecting you to play heaven. This is a nicer spot you can like weave in and out. So yeah, you can play on aircon. You can actually hold T-Red from here as well. You have a lot of outer control, I would say. Like, you don't have the mini area, but if they're trying to sneak through secret or trying to wrap garage, you have a lot of space. And you can hide behind this aircon unit anyway. So it's pretty hard to actually like flush you out. And if you desperately need to hide, you can actually just like pop down this way and run back in. So yeah, that's heaven. This area is called hell. It's under heaven. So heaven, hell, pretty easy. And if we go up this ladder, we are in heaven. So yeah, as you can see, this is the place I was talking about earlier on a site outside a vent where it's a bit of a headshot angle. Your body is visible, but only their head's visible. And this is, I guess, where I'd like to point out all the different areas on A. I know we're going back to upper, but all these different areas that you can play, they're so nasty. Like, if you're hiding over here, right, you can spot across from Squeaky into the vent, in like over here into site. Actually, if you tuck in over here, you can probably even like spot mini, like you can jump and spot mini before they can see you. You can duck back a little bit. You have a bit of like control over mini. And if you play anywhere over here, you're probably not going to be cleared, right? Like, if they're popping out of hut, they're not going to be looking at you. So anywhere on these rafters is a good spot. Here is a decent spot because, again, you're able to spot them coming like actually into hut before they come out of hut. This is a headshot angle, so you need to be a laser turret. You can play this angle over here. You can play this corner over here. You can play on top over here. This is a nasty angle as well, just because you're going to be safe from the molly, right? So like, you can be completely hidden over here. Like, this is actually also a really nasty spot. Yeah, you're visible from heaven, but like, that's it. Of course, this is a pretty one and done spot. Like, once you shoot the first person, you're probably going to die. But if you can magically get 2 people or even 3 people from this angle, it's pretty good. So all these upper angles are really underrated as a CT. So if you're the A anchor, yeah, use these angles to your advantage. You can also play on top of this silo. Oh, I messed it up. I'm going to go back. Yeah, I messed up the jump, but yeah, you can play on top of that silo as well. It's not the best position, but it can catch people off guard. So it's worth considering. The final thing is from heaven, right? Obviously, you're going to be dropping if you're going to be retaking the site. This yellow crate over here can help you to not only silent drop, but actually not take damage, right? Like, if you're just like, oh, I'm going to run, boom, you're taking like 20 damage, right? But if you, I guess, drop onto the crate, you can actually make a silent drop. I'm not sure if I know how to do it, but you can make a silent drop. At the very least, you can take no damage. So don't be that person who gets the clutch in like a 1v3, kill everyone from heaven, and you're only at like 2 HP, and you're like, oh yeah, whatever. And then you just run down and you kill yourself. It's happened to the best of us. Right. So over here, if you slide down this ramp, I think you can make it. Yeah, if you slide down this ramp, and maybe you crouch or something at like the perfect moment, you can make a silent drop just over there. So anyway, that's heaven. That's hell. Now let's Squeaky back. Okay. As I was saying, you can shoot Squeaky. Okay, now there's a hole with it. You can shoot it to make it a little bit bigger. You can make it even bigger. I think that's like it. I think it doesn't matter where you shoot, you're gonna make a hole. Yeah, if you CT, just be aware if Squeaky's blown up or whatnot. Okay, to actually smoke it off. Yeah. Anyway, that was outers. We've talked about uppers. Now let's go into the bottom side of the map. This is vending machine or trophy. This used to be. Oh, sorry. This is radio. No, never mind. This is not radio. We'll just call this trophy. Trophy because there's a lot of trophies over here. So I will call this entire area trophy. Then it says vending machine over here. But yeah, trophy. I think back in the old days it's called radio. This used to be a radio room. Yeah, it's called radio, I guess. Trophy. And if you go this way, you go into ramp room. This is fun. So this is ramp room because there's a massive ramp over here. Couple of places that you want to play. Ramp is actually one of my favorite areas just because of how flexible it is. Firstly, if you are in hell, you can go over here. This is called turnpike, but you can also call this elbow just because it's like an elbow area. If you're holding an AWP, or generally you have like a second player over here. Maybe they're playing heaven and they rotate over to here. So generally the heaven player is pretty flexible. They can help you hold turnpike. They can go up, they can go out. But if you're the anchor, or if you're the ramp anchor, right? A couple of places that I've seen people play, you can play at the ramp itself because you have an angle over here. You can spot one and then run away. You can play behind these boxes over here. Again, you're not watching them come out, but you have a pretty nasty angle if they are. Let's say, for example, if this is smoked, right, and smoked really shallow. You'll have people wide swinging and you'll have people holding the tighter corner. If you're holding this tight corner over here, right, you're not really going to be expecting someone at the box. And people don't usually molly this, so it's a pretty decent spot for you to get 1 kill, maybe even 2 kills. But you will be struggling over here. This is one of those angles where you actually do need someone at elbow or at turnback to help you. But here, generally a pretty decent place for you to hide. Other areas that I've seen people hide, on top of the railing, maybe you can get a quick cheeky kill and then dip, so boom, and then you can dip. Another angle, this one's not really my favorite. You can hide on top of it, like you can have it play more headshot angles, so you can crouch, you get duck so you can let people walk by, or you can actually just like hold this angle. The reason why I'm not a fan of this angle is just because it's in every pre-fire map ever, so if you're playing this angle, you're probably going to get domed. You can also hide like a really tight angle over here. This angle is reminiscent of Valorant. What's that map? On Split, where you're on B and this is like the B main entrance, and you know they're fully running out over here before it's kind of like, it's actually kind of like was it Ascent or is it Split? I think it's Split. Ascent? I don't know. You guys should know which map I'm talking about. It's the one where there's some windows over there and people. Oh, it is. Yeah, okay, I think it is Ascent. But yeah, like, you know, there's someone always holding like a tight line, so if they're coming out, you can actually like spread them down. If you have a silenced M4, you can probably get like a couple of kills, because if there's a person running over here, coming out, they're not going to clear you completely. Like if you're hiding in the corner, they won't be able to see you, as you can see over here. They're more likely to like come out and clear the angles over here or on top of boost and over here, or maybe even behind this. Like this is also another angle. Like, it's such a weird angle, but no one plays it. Like, I don't think it's that bad. But yeah, if you could probably get the first kill on the entry, and then you know you're forcing the second guy to peek you. But by that time, if someone's playing turnpike, it's actually a really solid hold as a CT. Anyway, this is also a pretty decent place to save if you are out of the bomb radius over here. Less angles, like there's another ramp angle over here that not a lot of people play. But yeah, generally, once you get the first kill, you're probably likely to dip. Once you're actually in ramp, this is the bottom right, B site as we call it. Everywhere over here is able to be planted, so anywhere in this designated red zone, I guess, you should be able to plant. There's so many different ways to plant the bomb. You can plant it over here, because this place is like the closest, I guess, you're kind of safe from decon, but it's a pretty open plant. You can plant over here. This is for ramp plant. Again, it's very open. This is probably your safest plant, just because you're covered from most everywhere except double doors and except decon. But if decon is closed, or if someone's holding decon, someone's holding this thing, yeah, it's a pretty safe plant. But yeah, I guess there aren't too many good plants. If if you are like genuinely stuck, if you're like, oh no, I don't know where to plant, or I can't find a place to plant safely, just throw smoke, and then you can plant inside the smoke. That way you have some kind of cover. This is an oft forgotten angle. Again, you can call this gay spot. It's just again like an angle that no one really clears. Yeah, just maybe like under ramp, I guess. This is double doors, makes a squeaky noise when you get in and out. This is control room. There's some buttons over here, so yeah. You can also call this window. You do need to break the glass to be able to come through, and it does make noise. You can hear the noise from the upper side. But yeah, this is a decent place to hold ramp, both sides of ramp. And you don't actually have to like fight it. You can let them come up. You don't have to hold this angle, especially because there's two openings, you know what I mean? Like, you can hold this angle, but then someone's probably more space here. Control's a decent place to play after plant. Over here, you have the vents. And as you can see, if you go up these vents, you will be on top of the B side, will be back on A side. So yeah, these vents, you can go either forward, in which case you'll end up in the double door side, or you can go and turn right, or left, I guess. If you come down from the vent and turn right. This area is called decon. D-E-C-O-N. I don't know why it's called decon, but it's called decon. Again, you can blow the door off, you can spam it, and yeah, this angle, not the best place for holding decon, but it's like, if you have decon covered, it's an amazing place for you to hide. You're completely invisible from ramp, you're completely invisible from doors. It's a nasty place to clear as well. A lot of times people will probably be using the molly over here, so yeah, if there's a spare, if they don't have a spare molly, it's really nasty to actually clear you out. They're probably gonna have to wide switch. So around there. So yeah, decon. Oh, there you go, decontamination. That's what's called, decon. Fun. Okay, yeah, up the stairs over here. A lot of what I see, I'm trying to find. There's a jump spot. I don't know where they do it, but there's a jump spot that pros use, where they like take a glance, or maybe it's like a pixel gap or something. I'm trying to find it. I know, they do like some kind of jump spotting or something like that, and when they spot, they either smoke it off or volley it off. But if you go out of here and go up these stairs, you will be at secret. So this area is secret. Back in the old maps, there used to be a way for you to go from secret into garage, but they've changed it now since Go, I think. Maybe even since Source. But yeah, if you go and walk down these steps from outside, you will go into secret. So this area is secret. And yeah, this will just be like, oh, the outside B. There are double doors. There are control. There are vents. There are decon. So yeah, those would generally be the places that you would come. So yeah, I guess that covers most of the map. If there's a couple more things to go through, generally as a CT, you want to be holding one person outside trying to grab info. Probably going to be holding towards the garage area. So if they're not smoked, they get a lot of info. You also generally play here. Otherwise, if you're like smoked off, they could play credit card. But yeah, you can usually expect one person to be outside over here. You'll be supported though. There'll be a player usually in mini. Mini will have a lot of like the rotating responsibilities, I would say. They're responsible for helping out outside. They're also responsible for helping out with Squeaky. And if they do bust out A, he will also need to be one of the points of contact to actually stop the actual hit from happening. You also have two people holding A. Again, the rule is usually one bottom, one high. So yeah, like the bottom person could be playing silos, be playing like a more passive angle over here. Could be playing an angle over here. Could be playing an angle over here. Because you know, you want to be able to take an unfair advantage, and clearing angles isn't really something that you do with Nuke. But you also want to have someone playing high, and the high person is generally on the rafters. Which is also like the heaven person. The heaven player should be pretty flexible. They should also be the one to rotate. So if there's a ramp hit happening, as an example, the heaven person would need to be able to help them. So yeah, if you're playing heaven at the beginning, you might want to like help your team by mollying. sweet, just to make sure that they can't rush it or they don't rush it. Then maybe you're just over here checking it out, hanging out, and yeah, if you get a call like, oh yeah, it's ramp, then you rotate towards her pike or elbow. And finally, you'll have one person playing ramp, and the ramp player, you know, he's like basically the siren for B. If the ramp person falls, then yeah, you're gonna have a lot of issues. But other CT positions that are generally held, the outside player can start holding locker or start holding credit card or start holding back if they're getting domed all the time. And if you're a B player, or like you want to take a bit of control, but you don't want to be pushing ramp all the time, what you can do, or even as like an outside player, you might not go to garage, you might just go quickly through under, you open doors, and then you pop out towards squeaky. Sorry, you pop out towards secret. Secret's actually a place that not a lot of people check. You know, from the heavens, like it's a long way to actually get to secret in the first place. And if you go under, that's the safest option, but that just means you're going to take a while. It's very rare for people to play garage and then it's smoked off and then they run the gauntlet down to secret. You're going to get shot. You're going to die like 100% of the time. So if you're CT, please don't go through secret this way unless you're fully smoked off and you're confident. Take the long way. But yeah, use these areas of the map to your advantage. Anyway, that's all for Nuke. I guess I'll make a train next to last, and maybe if cash comes out, then we'll do that.